If I'm sipping in the wine house and fading back to black in the dark reality through music, people asking where's Amy? In the midst of slowly losing the musicality of MJ that in '09, this is it, became the final words of a legend in our eyes. Followed up by the Prince of Purple Rain and Tears, after the last time he sang his heart out and played his fellow symbolic icon electric guitar. But before him, there was Robin, one of the animated men of laughter who gave us the genie and his second to last appearance as Teddy. In between those, he had dramatic performances that were nothing to sleep on, that even through improv he brought joy that we received. Even further back, there was the Mac that transformed his transition. The funny man through and through. After making stand-ups and TV appearances, he had his own to branch off of. Last we saw him was an extended blockbuster cameo for the ages. Fast forward to the Rickman who once was a die-hard villain, thinking he was the same when the HP spellcrafts were adapted to the screens. After finding out he was all good, his death was a gut punch to the secret he withheld to help. Moving forward even further to the Marvel Man himself, Stan the Man, as he's been called. We can make him a myth, we can make him a legend. But what we can't make him out to be is human. He already was with the love of comics to back that up. Ditko helped create one of the most relatable superheroes in history. All the art he's contributed to becoming, from the most weird to the most iconic. Kirby, even when he was putting in work with the competition of Detective Comics, dipping into the cosmic became a marvel to the public. Behind the scenes were not perfect, but he deserves the credit that put him on the map. To hustle hard, he had to make a living, for the music was emotion. The streets raised him to be the man that he was. Yet, he made it out. He grew into the success and spread love. Taking his victory lap through his impact, he was respected. Looked out for his community, looked out for those who needed opportunities, and being the family man who provided for him. Now his legacy is what he leaves him, let alone us. But right now, we just lost another great one too soon. Known for playing historical black figures such as Robinson, Brown, and Marshall. Yes, those are based on true stories. But when watching this man, you'll believe in the messages. He was active for much longer, but these cemented his place. Transitioning into the superhero we all have come to know him for, transformed his life displaying his greatness. Took on the challenge outside of that to expand on his acting abilities towards the last joint we've seen him in. He was a true warrior at heart, on and off set. A beacon of hope and inspiration to people who needed it most. He lost the battle with cancer, but his spirit is still in the war for peace and understanding one another so we can see a better world to live in. We've lost the Panther and the historic rise in Chadwick Boseman. Doesn't mean he will be forgotten. He will always have a place in many hearts, including my own. I could go down a list of names, but there's so many to acknowledge. He can't just live on through hashtags. That ain't enough at this point. What we gotta do this time is live by his example. Along with the other good people we lost, celebrity or not, the wake-up call to remind ourselves that we have only one. And real quick, y'all, I held off on that piece to read and to make a video for, out of respect for Chadwick Boseman, as I mentioned at the tail end of this piece, due to the circumstances that took place August 28th, I believe that was a Friday, that the news got out, the word got out about his passing, and the fact that I found out about it that day, my family was just finding out about it that day. And then I went on Instagram and then I saw all the posts that went up and I was like, really? We had to lose another one, another good one, another great one, and it's Chadwick Boseman? Really? I mean, finding out that he was battling cancer, colon cancer to be specific, but the fact that he was battling that for 4 years straight. I'm sure some people knew, and that includes his family. My prayers go out to them as well. My prayers go out to them. I feel like knowing about this after his passing, and that the whole time, me, along with all of us, we didn't know. We did not know about this until he was gone. We didn't know about this. And the crazy thing about it was, last time we saw him online, and it was on Instagram, I think so. It was Instagram. Last time we saw him online, he was looking sickly. For a lot of us who peeped that, he looked sickly, like a lot skinnier than how we thought we would see him. And it's like that right there was a sign that something was up, something was wrong. But for someone like myself, I was still holding out hope that he can fight through it, push through it, and still find time to work, let alone outside of acting, living his life. And instead, what ended up happening. And it is difficult and frustrating knowing that we had to lose another one like Chadwick. And when I say that he was a warrior at heart, I mean that, because he was. He was a warrior at heart. He was battling this thing for 4 years. 2016, as it's mentioned, that it really started to pick up for him to keep working, keep fighting through it. 2016, that's when he showed up as Black Panther. That's when he got introduced as Black Panther. 2016, from then on, really? Like, that goes to show how much of an impact he's had on this world, in this world. To many of us, especially for us in the Black community, because on and offset, like I said, on and offset, he was a beacon of hope. He was a beacon of inspiration. He was trying to look out for people, to see a better world to live in. He was hoping for a better future of this world to live in. And if that wasn't saying anything, I don't know what is. I don't know what was. It meant a lot to me, because he was the type of person that, even though I didn't know him in person, I knew of him as a person. That he's the type of man that you would want to sit in a room with, have a good laugh, have a good conversation with. That's who he was to me. And I'm sure that's who he was to many. And it's hard to think about that now, but the best way to cope with it is to appreciate what he has done while he was alive. Instead of dwelling on his passing, appreciate what he has done while he was alive. That's what we all got to do. It's like I said, hashtags ain't enough. Posting about it isn't enough. We gotta live by that example. We gotta live by that example to be beacons of hope in this world, to do better, to be better, to seek better. I always bring that up. Chadwick was one of those people that's meant to be a reminder for that. But I don't want this video to go on for too long. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And the reason why I held off doing this piece, because I'm just paying my respects to Chadwick. Rest in peace to him. Rest in power to him. And prayers go out to his family. He will be missed, but he will never be forgotten. And I can only hope for y'all watching this video that once again you show me support, and I'll do my best to show support for y'all, right? But keep this in mind. I'm not doing this for the sake of gaining attention by mentioning his name. I did this piece with a purpose, because I wanted to mention him amongst the other names, and a mention that it's so many names to name. I can't name them all, but I wanted to name Chadwick amongst those other names where that's how much of an impact he's left on this world. I wanted to acknowledge that. And I only hope that there can be better things to come out of that, out of everything that we've been going through right now. It's been a little bit since I've posted a video, so when you guys get a chance to look at this, to check this out, understand, as always, this is where it's coming from. This is where it's coming from. It's coming from here, and it's coming from here. I'm not doing this just to gain attention. I'm doing this with purpose, with meaning. I'm not doing this to get attention. I'm doing this to serve my purpose as a human being, to be a beacon of hope, to be a reasonable person who, yes, speaks on the reality, opinions, facts, and thoughts that goes on with me. But at the end of the day, I'm a big heart. I'm always going to be a big heart. And with Chadwick, he was one of those people as well. So I had to acknowledge that. And with that being said, this is Blue Flames the Poet, and I'm out.